Vasistha continued, when thus all the gods and also the 12 suns had become one with Brahma, these suns began to burn away even the world of the Creator, as they had done with the earth. So these are the 12 suns coming into their own now. After burning the world of the Creator and entering into deep meditation like Brahma, they entered into Nirvana, like a lamp without fuel. Everything was then enveloped in dense darkness. Nirvana means that there's nothing left to draw the attention away from itself. It's like the cat on a hot tin roof, always needing to move around to find something for the attention to fix itself on. But now the roof has gone cold. The lamp is without fuel. Meanwhile, I saw there a fearsome form. He was like the embodied dissolution of the universe, like embodied darkness. However, he shone by his own radiance. He had 5 faces, 10 arms, and 3 eyes. He had a trident in his hand. He was moving in the space of his own being, because there wasn't any more space at this point. He was dark like the rain-bearing cloud. It was as if he rose out of the cosmic ocean, and as if he himself were the embodiment of that cosmic ocean. He looked like a winged mountain. From his trident and 3 eyes I thought, this is Rudra, and I bowed to him from a great distance. You might wonder if this is the cosmic dissolution. Everything has gone. There's no more light, no more space. Where did Rudra come from? Well, he came from the same place that dreams come from. It's significant too that Vasistha bowed to him from a great distance, as you might be able to guess from the next couple of sentences. Rama asked, who is this Rudra, and what are his 5 faces, 10 hands, etc.? Vasistha continued, he is known as Rudra, and he is the ego sense. He is devoted to the disturbance of the equilibrium. His form is pure space, or void. So Rudra is the ego sense. And this is why Vasistha bows to him from a great distance, because Vasistha is far removed from the ego sense. But isn't this extraordinary? Brahma and all the primordial forces of creation are sitting in Nirvana. They've entered Nirvana. And now what pops up is the ego sense, the embodied ego sense, which we would have thought had been left far behind. It's rather like the yin and yang symbol, isn't it? We've got the black and white, but within the black there's a little circle of white, and within the white there's a little seed of black. So within the cosmic dissolution, the seed of ego sense arises once again. Within Nirvana, the seed of ego sense arises once again, devoted to the disturbance of the equilibrium, devoted to taking us from equanimity. And this is the seed also of the Hindu cosmology, which we'll be diving into now. He is a form of space, and therefore his colour is like that of space. He's black. Since he is pure indivisible consciousness, like space, he is known as the space self, akasha-atma. So this is interesting. The ego sense is non-different from the pure infinite consciousness. It is of the nature of infinite consciousness, and this is the nature of consciousness, to identify. Since he is the self of all and is omnipresent, he is known as the great self or the supreme self. It's the same principle at work everywhere in me and you, this tendency to identify with notions. This is the ego sense. This is consciousness. The 5 senses of knowledge are his faces. The 5 organs of action and their 5 fields are his 10 arms. So the 5 senses are the usual senses: eyes, ears, tongue, skin and nose, the organs of the senses. 5 organs of action is another obvious way of complementing them. We often hear about the 5 senses, but not so much about the 5 organs of action, which is curious. The 5 organs of senses are that in which we are passive receipt of. But the 5 organs of action are the very limited ways in which we can interact, we actually give out. So the 5 organs of action are normally listed as the hands, the feet, the mouth or speech, and the anus and the genitals. These are the 5 ways in which we can interact with our environment. But in general they can be understood as eliminating, reproducing, moving, that's the feet, grasping with the hands, and speaking. These are the 5 ways in which we can interact with our environment. And they're very limited. We've got a very limited way of interacting with what is perceived as the external world. It was described a while back as being like a lame fish. We're just waggling around in this massive universe. Although nowadays our access to technology more than compensates for our limited ways of interacting. So these are the 5 organs of action, the karmendriyas.